You start off by saying, what is your name and occupation?
My name is Elizabeth Moncariotti, and I am a marketing assistant in NC State Athletics.
Can you give a brief summary of what your position consists of?
My position consists a lot of creating and executing marketing plans for various sports. So I work directly with track and field and cross country and swimming and diving. And so I'm the primary contact for those sports for the marketing department, and then the secondary contact for men's basketball, volleyball, and softball. So a lot of that entails is working alongside our operations department, our ticketing department, video and concessions, and kind of putting the plans together for the overall, game day atmosphere for those sporting events. So working pretty early on and coordinating all the promotional efforts that we do, which also includes the communications department and social media and ticketing, to try to get not only fans out to games, but also give them the best experience that they can at sporting events.
Awesome. Can you give a brief summary on how you got to where you are?
So I started out at Morehead State University. I was a student athlete there. I'm originally from Apex, North Carolina, but I went out to Kentucky to play softball and go to school. I chose a marketing degree in my second semester, my freshman year. I had an amazing marketing professor, and he really opened up my eyes to all the opportunities I could have in marketing. And so I wanted to take my two passions of marketing and sports and put them together. And so I did an internship in the athletic department at Morehead State my fall semester of my senior year, and loved every minute of it. I got a lot of different opportunities there. I graduated in May of 2016, and then I got offered a job there as the marketing promotions coordinator in October of 2016. And so from there I've developed, and I then applied for the position here at NC State and was offered, and have learned so much since July. So I started July 2nd of 2018. And so appreciate everything Morehead State did for me. And then I just wanted to have the opportunity to go to a bigger school within a Power 5 conference, and just be able to learn more about the industry.
Definitely. Kind of answered my fourth question, aspirations in the sports industry. So question 5, did you always want to work within collegiate athletics, or do you have any aspirations to get further?
Yeah, so I've kind of bounced back and forth with that idea. Sometimes I've thought about going into just focusing on one sport, so maybe going into the minor leagues with baseball and trying to work my way up to the majors in that point. But I don't think I've solely decided if collegiate athletics is the way I want to go, or if it's going to be just going to one sport and working in that. So it's still up in the air. I'm still young in the industry, and so I haven't decided, but I do love college athletics and all it has to offer, and being able to work with multiple different sports, and just seeing the different sides that every single sport has to them.
Awesome. What are the greatest challenges you faced during your career thus far? And I guess with NC State, or getting to where you are?
My greatest challenge? I guess my greatest challenge so far is, even though women have broken into the sports industry, I think a big challenge still is just being able to lead a pathway for women and girls, and being able to break into those things and show that women are excelling in the sports industry, not only in athletics, but also on the business side of things. And so I think my challenge has just been trying to have a voice. And I know that many of the places that I've been, they are accepting of a woman's view and a woman's what they can bring to the table. But there are things that we see all the time that might differ that. But I would definitely say that it's been easier for me because of the other women that have paved the way. But I still would love to be able to branch out and show and be also another way for women to be able to break into the industry as well.
Awesome. How much do you credit networking to getting where you are today?
It's huge. I think being able to make connections with people that are already in the industry is very, very helpful. That's actually one of the ways that I got into my job here, was knowing someone who worked within the department, and she gave me a great recommendation. And like I said, just being able to speak with people and networking yourself, going to those conventions and going to things where you can meet people that can open up doors for you. I think networking is huge. I think talking with people and connecting with them on another level, and not just always, asking for things, but just getting to know them and, letting them know your aspirations and what you want to do with your career, I think is huge.
Awesome. How many hours do you usually work per day?
Oh, per day. That can be anywhere between 9 hours a day to 15. It just depends, especially when we have a sporting event going on. Those are typically longer days, but there's a lot that goes into our job besides game day. There's so much behind the scenes work that people don't know. So it just kind of depends on the day and what's going on, and how much teamwork that we get done within the office to help each other out and make things a little bit easier for everybody.
Awesome. What programs, if any, did you participate in while in college to get you introduced to the sport industry? Kind of like the one I'm doing.
Yeah, so I was a collegiate athlete, so I had a lot of connections within the athletic department, just being around them and whatnot. And so like I said, I was an intern within the athletic department my fall semester of my senior year. So that helped me get my first job and get my foot in the door. I do, when looking back, I wish that I had started earlier. I kept feeling that because I was a student athlete, I didn't have much time, but looking back, I did have the time and I could have done more, and I think it would have helped me a little bit more in just gaining connections and things like that. But I think putting the time in to volunteer with various departments so you can figure out your niche and figure out what you want to do is very key, and there's never too much experience on a resume.
Definitely, for sure. I kind of spoke on this earlier, or just now too. Do you have any specific advice for prospective students like myself?
Right. I think my biggest thing is just getting out there and talking with people. I think doing this interview right now is a great thing, and you're just picking the brains of the people that are already in the industry and figuring out what they feel that they could have done more to, help themselves out, especially after you graduate when you're, trying to find that job. Like I said, the more connections you have, the more you talk with people, and the more that you're volunteering and putting time in to figure out where you want to go is it's going to help you in tremendous ways once you graduate.
Definitely. How much do you value pay when considering potential positions?
In my opinion, I think if you love your job, it doesn't matter. I love what I do, and it can be hard, but at the same time, the end result on game day is amazing, and it's so much fun. We have a blast on game day, and that's the best part about my job, is working those events. And so looking at pay, I don't think can balance out loving your job. So to me, it's not the most important thing in the world.
Definitely. Kind of like relaying off that, has there been like a moment in your career thus far where it kind of like shaped it and like you realized this is like what you wanted to do?
Honestly, I feel like this past weekend I got to kind of branch out on football game day and do a little bit more on the field. And to me, just being in that atmosphere, on the football field and in that big of a crowd was amazing. I kept telling Megan, I was like, this energy is amazing. This energy is amazing. It just makes you realize that every little thing you do, the fans appreciate, and it's the little things, and sometimes people don't even notice, but we know, and we can tell like that what we're doing is creating such an amazing atmosphere for them. And so that's the biggest thing for me is, not only do I love sports, but being able to give the fans such an amazing experience at sporting events, I think that's the most important part of my job.
Definitely. Has there been a moment in your life, career related, that you regret, or would you have liked to have changed?
I think the regret that I have that I touched on briefly was just not getting involved more when I was in college. Like I said, I definitely had the time, and I think that would have also allowed me to not only dip into the sports marketing field, but I could have also experimented with operations or ticketing or things like that that maybe I could have figured out if maybe that was something that I also want to touch on. And I'm still young and I'm still figuring that out. If, like I said, I love my job and I love sports marketing, but who knows, maybe an operational job within the sports industry is something else I would want to do, or in sales or in tickets. And so that's still something that I'm figuring out, but I do wish I would have done that when I was younger. So that way, I had a little bit more time to figure those things out and dip my feet into different areas in the industry.
For sure. Only 2 more questions left. Not that much. You have a key role model in your life that you would credit to helping you get to where you were today?
I would say my parents. They have worked their butts off their whole life to not only create a great life for me and for my siblings, but they've just been such great role models in just showing that working hard can get you some really great things in life. And they have not only worked hard to get me those things, but they've supported me along the way. And so they're huge role models in my life and great supporters for what I do. And they've been beside me and pushing me in every step of my life. So
awesome. And lastly, well, what aspirations do you have for your career moving forward? Any other long-term goals?
Yeah, so I just started my position here in July, and so I've been really focused on doing the best that I can while I'm here right now. But I think moving forward, I think it's a lot for me to figure out if I want to stay in the collegiate career or if I want to try to go, like I said, more towards the one sport, like whether that's football, baseball, basketball, I'm not sure. But I don't know, I guess my goal is just to continue moving up in this position and learning more about game day and everything that goes into it, and just continue to move up and hopefully get to that assistant athletic director position and, running my own department.
Definitely. Well, awesome. Thank you.